politics.
Welcome to Stupid Politics.
Thank God we name it that, right? Hi, my name is Melissa Lineberry, and I'm the host of the show. And wonderfully enough, I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves. But wonderfully enough, we have Andrew Horning here, who is running for governor on the Libertarian ticket. And I did get to see the debate, so we'll talk a little bit about that and anything he wants. So everybody would like to introduce themselves on the panel, and we'll get started.
Well, I'm Andy Horning.
Easy enough?
I knew that answer right off.
My name is Rachel Grubb.
My name is Jeremiah Jeffrey, and I'm an ex-libertarian, so I don't know if you're going to hear me.
I'm going to be interrogating you.
So we can have some fun. I guess my first question before we even worry about the debates are, why are you running for governor?
Well, out of 6 million people, there was nobody who was going to stand up for the Constitution of the United States of America and Indiana, to which all politicians and police officers in Indiana swear an oath of support. So since everybody swears an oath to do this, nobody's been doing it for, well, I guess like 100 years. And since nobody else was stepping up to the job to actually even offer the Constitution, what am I going to do?
Can you name anything specifically that you can think of out of your head that is unconstitutional to you that they're doing? No?
Oh my, where do I begin? I mean, just one that should hit everybody smack in the face is that Article 8 of the Constitution authorizes only the use of corporate property tax for the purposes of common schools. That means not individual property tax. Half your property tax bill, gone. Because it's unconstitutional.
I've seen a website.
Article 8, it's in there.
So what do we do with the kids once we displace them from all the schools?
Actually, if you look in Article 8, it talks about funding mechanisms and so on. And if we were to do, you know, I don't want to get into the whole education thing unless you're ready for that, but, you know, in 1959, when we did the school consolidation, remember guys, is an evil word. What it means in political circles is putting more power into fewer hands. And what happened in the consolidation of 1959 is we decided that the little schools that parents could see down their street and that kids could walk to were not good enough, and we needed these big palaces. And so now we need buses, we need cafeterias, we need all of these scaled up things, but it also means we have fewer sports teams, fewer chess teams. And so now, if you're not 7 feet tall, you're not going to play basketball. If you can't run a 4-minute mile, you're not going to be on the track team.
Well, what would we do without all these metal detectors and things like that? I mean,
they could still be useful for finding coins buried underground.
So things like that. We don't even honor the Constitution. There's a specific way we're supposed to pay for public schools. We don't even do that. So simple little things like that we haven't been paying.
Simple little stuff. And things like the existence of bureaucracies like DCS, CPS, you know, the child snatching organization.
Oh,
you know,
we need all the child protective services, don't we?
Protecting children is a wonderful thing. But if you do it by due process, which is the way it's supposed to work, then parents are protected. You're not going to be pulling people, you know. Look at it this way. The CPS, DCS has got their own judges, they've got their own police, essentially, they've got their own legislative powers, all unconstitutional. But what nobody ever asks is what happens after they use these powers? What happens when you pull a child away from the family?
Well, from what I hear is they have some of their own problems, like the child abuse problems that no longer
worse. So you're 16 times as likely to be raped. Yeah.
If you're raised in the system.
If you're raised in a foster home after being snatched away, first what happens is when you take a child away from a parent, there's a psychological damage that occurs right there.
Right, even if the parent's horrible, there's definitely...
Even if the parent's horrible. Now, if you take, you know, I don't know how many cases I've heard in the last few months. It just breaks my heart to think about, you know, some of the stories that people tell me about how, you know, a father finds out about something horrible his kid did, like maybe with drugs or something. He paddles this kid, leaves a bruise on his butt.
And then he gets shot.
And then the mother, who is not married to this guy, you know, says...
A little bit angry.
A little bit angry. You know, you bruised my innocent child.
And then we hear about it on this news, the big child abuser.
And so what happens is that, you know, this whole system is based on, you know... Well, let me go back one more piece.
The guy goes into the court system, he can't pay his child support anymore because he's locked up and incarcerated.
Plus,
fatherless at this point in time.
Yeah. Plus, if you get your child pulled away, then if you're on Medicare, Medicaid, something like it, SSI, you lose those benefits. And the other thing that is important to note is that this is a bounty system where there's federal dollars that the state gets for every child inducted in. So essentially, they're paid, you know...
They're paid to do this.
They're
They're
paid
paid to collect your children from you.
The more kids they snatch, the more money they get.
But, I mean, I think what's important to note about all of this is that it's completely illegal. And if you look at, you know, just Article 1, I'll let you read. Article 1, Section 25, you know...
Article 1, Section 25.
And I started the state. I'm through the federal and analyzing it. I'm doing the state now, but the state is a lot bigger than the federal.
What, 42 pages?
Yeah, it's not
You probably
bad.
read a 900-page romance novel or something like that. But,
Uh,
well, maybe not.
I'll read
No
Article
law should be passed.
Good with that.
I'll read Article 1, Section 25 of the Indiana State Constitution. All right. Section 25, effective laws. No law shall be passed, the taking effect of which shall be made to depend upon any authority except as provided by this Constitution.
And so what that means, it's kind of a difficult construction, kind of a parenthetical phrase. But what it means in simple terms is that laws can't depend on any authority that isn't specifically granted by this
It
Constitution.
sounds almost like the 10th Amendment for the federal. They can't make any laws. It's reserved to the states. That's saying...
Right. And this is even perhaps a little more specific. And this, I like the way this is worded. There's not as much, I think this is an inferior constitution in some ways. But in this
To
particular...
other states?
Well, certainly to our 1816 Constitution, and certainly to the clarity of the original federal Constitution.